Welcome to this audiobook summary of Science and Human Behavior by B.F. Skinner. This book, first published in 1953, explores how human actions are shaped, understood, and controlled through the scientific principles of behaviorism. Skinner's groundbreaking work explains that behavior is not driven by internal thoughts and feelings alone, but by the external environment and the consequences that follow actions. By studying behavior in a scientific way, Skinner believed we could predict and influence it. His ideas have important applications in fields like education, psychology, and social systems. Whether we are talking about teaching children, improving workplace productivity, or even creating better communities, Skinner's insights give us tools to understand how behavior works and how it can be shaped. This audiobook will explore the key concepts from the book in a simple, clear way, making it easy to apply these ideas to everyday life. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth content. Now, let's dive into the first major idea. Number 1. Behavior as a science. The study of human behavior, Skinner argues, should be treated like any other branch of science. People often think that actions are driven by unseen mental processes, thoughts, feelings, and desires. But from a scientific perspective, what can actually be observed and measured is the behavior itself. Instead of speculating about the mind, Skinner insists that we focus on the actions people take and the environments that influence those actions. Just as scientists study the laws of nature, like gravity or electricity, they can study the laws of behavior. This approach allows for prediction and control. If we can identify the external factors that shape a person's behavior, we can begin to understand why they act the way they do and even change their actions by altering their environment. This is the foundation of behaviorism. It's not about denying the existence of thoughts and feelings, but about realizing that what drives behavior can be observed from the outside. We can see the conditions and consequences that follow actions, and from this, we can make predictions about how behavior will change under different conditions. For example, in a work setting, productivity can often be increased by changing incentives. By offering rewards for hitting certain goals, employers can motivate workers to put in more effort. This simple principle, adjusting behavior by changing external rewards, underlies much of how behaviorism works. Skinner believed that this scientific approach to behavior could lead to great advancements in understanding human nature. If we treat behavior like a science, we can develop more effective ways to help people improve, learn, and live better lives. Number 2. The role of the environment in shaping behavior. Behavior does not occur in a vacuum. It is shaped by the environment in which it takes place. Every action we take is influenced by what is happening around us. From the people we interact with to the physical spaces we inhabit, our environment provides the cues and conditions that lead to certain behaviors. For instance, a student might behave very differently at home versus in school. At home, where they feel more relaxed, they might be playful or distracted. In a classroom setting, where there are rules and expectations, they might focus more on learning. The difference in behavior comes not from the person changing, but from the environment changing. The environment also controls behavior through consequences. When a behavior leads to a reward, it is more likely to be repeated. This is called reinforcement. Conversely, when behavior leads to negative consequences or punishment, it is less likely to happen again. Think of someone who works in a high-pressure office. If they perform well, they might receive praise or a promotion. These are positive reinforcements. If they miss deadlines, they may be criticized or even face job loss. These are negative consequences. Over time, the environment shapes how they behave at work, encouraging behaviors that lead to rewards and discouraging those that bring punishment. The power of the environment is central to Skinner's view of human behavior. By understanding how people respond to their surroundings, we can predict behavior. More importantly, we can change the environment to encourage positive actions and discourage harmful ones. Schools, businesses, and even families can apply this principle to create environments where people are more likely to succeed and behave in socially beneficial ways. Number 3. Operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is a core concept in Skinner's theory. It explains how behavior is learned and strengthened through reinforcement and punishment. Unlike classical conditioning, where behavior is shaped by associating two stimuli, like Pavlov's dogs learning to salivate at the sound of a bell, operant conditioning involves learning from the consequences of our actions. There are two main types of reinforcement in operant conditioning. Positive reinforcement. This is when a reward follows a behavior, increasing the likelihood that the behavior will be repeated. For example, if a dog receives a treat for sitting on command, it will be more likely to sit in the future. In human behavior, positive reinforcement is seen in everything from giving children praise for good behavior to offering employees bonuses for meeting performance goals. Negative reinforcement. This occurs when an unpleasant stimulus is removed following a behavior, also increasing the likelihood of that behavior being repeated. For example, if a person takes pain medication to relieve a headache, the removal of the pain reinforces the behavior of taking medication when in discomfort. Negative reinforcement strengthens behavior by removing something undesirable. Punishment, on the other hand, decreases the likelihood of a behavior by introducing negative consequences. For example, a student who is scolded for talking during class may stop talking to avoid further punishment. However, Skinner noted that punishment is often less effective than reinforcement because it doesn't teach a new, desired behavior, it only discourages the unwanted one. Operant conditioning is powerful because it can explain much of human behavior, from learning new skills to developing habits. In everyday life, it shapes how we interact with others, how we respond to rewards and punishments, and even how we manage our own habits. Understanding operant conditioning gives us a tool for changing behavior. By reinforcing desired actions and minimizing reinforcement for undesired ones, we can guide behavior in a positive direction. This principle is used in everything from classroom management to behavioral therapy. Number 4. Reinforcement schedules. Reinforcement is a powerful tool, but it doesn't always happen the same way. Sometimes behavior is reinforced every time it happens, while other times reinforcement is less frequent. The way reinforcement is delivered can dramatically impact how quickly behavior is learned and how strong it becomes over time. Continuous reinforcement. This is when a behavior is reinforced every single time it occurs. For example, in a vending machine, you receive a snack each time you put in money. This schedule is effective for establishing new behaviors, but the downside is that once the reinforcement stops, the behavior quickly weakens or disappears. If the vending machine stops dispensing snacks, you'll stop using it almost immediately. Partial or intermittent reinforcement. In this schedule, behavior is only reinforced sometimes, not every time. There are several types of intermittent reinforcement. Fixed ratio schedule. Here, reinforcement is given after a set number of behaviors. For instance, a worker might be paid for every 10 items they produce. This schedule encourages high rates of performance as the person knows exactly when the reward will come. Variable ratio schedule. Reinforcement is given after a random number of behaviors. Slot machines work on this principle, as players never know when the next reward will come. This schedule creates strong, persistent behavior, as the unpredictability keeps people engaged. Fixed interval schedule. In this case, reinforcement is provided after a fixed amount of time, like a weekly paycheck. This schedule tends to produce a pattern where behavior increases as the time for reinforcement approaches, like working harder as the payday gets closer, and decreases afterward. Variable interval schedule. Here, reinforcement is given after random amounts of time. For example, checking email for a message or waiting for a fish to bite while fishing can be on a variable interval schedule. Since the timing is unpredictable, this schedule produces steady, consistent behavior. By understanding reinforcement schedules, we can better shape behavior. For example, teachers can use different schedules of praise to keep students motivated, or companies can design incentive programs that maintain employee engagement over time. This understanding also explains why certain behaviors, like gambling, are so persistent even when the rewards are few and far between. The possibility of a reward keeps the behavior going. Number 5. Social behavior and interaction. Human beings are social creatures, and much of what we do is influenced by those around us. This section focuses on how behavior is shaped in social contexts, from interactions with family and friends to larger societal structures. Social environments provide powerful reinforcement for behavior. Social reinforcement. One of the key ways behavior is influenced in social settings is through reinforcement provided by others. Praise, recognition, attention, and approval from peers or authority figures can shape behavior. Children, for instance, learn to behave in ways that earn them praise from their parents, teachers, or friends. Adults, too, seek social reinforcement in the form of respect, acceptance, or love. Conformity and social norms. Behavior is also influenced by the expectations of the group. Conformity happens when people adjust their behavior to align with the norms of their social group. For example, a person may change their opinion to match that of their friends to avoid rejection. Social norms exert a powerful influence on behavior because they provide a blueprint for what is considered acceptable or unacceptable in a given group or society. Cooperation and competition. These two forms of social behavior are also shaped by reinforcement. Cooperation occurs when people work together to achieve mutual benefits, while competition arises when rewards are limited and individuals must outperform others to gain those rewards. Both cooperation and competition are driven by the promise of reinforcement, whether it's the shared success of a team effort or the personal reward of being the best. Understanding how social environments reinforce behavior can help explain a wide range of actions, from why people follow societal rules to how peer pressure influences behavior. By applying this understanding, we can shape social environments to promote cooperation, positive social behavior, and well-being. Number 6. The limits of punishment. While punishment can be used to stop unwanted behaviors, it is not always the most effective way to change behavior in the long term. Skinner argued that punishment, while common, has significant drawbacks compared to positive reinforcement. Punishment works by introducing a negative consequence in response to a behavior with the goal of reducing that behavior. However, there are several reasons why punishment might fail to produce lasting change. Short-term effects. Punishment often stops the behavior in the moment, but it doesn't teach the person what to do instead. For example, a student who is punished for talking out of turn may stop for a while, but doesn't learn the appropriate way to participate in class. The behavior is suppressed temporarily, but is likely to return once the punishment is removed. Negative emotional responses. Punishment can lead to fear, anxiety, or resentment. When people are punished, they may feel anger or fear toward the person administering the punishment, rather than learning to correct their behavior. In extreme cases, Punishment can damage relationships and create a hostile environment. Avoidance behavior. Instead of stopping the unwanted behavior, punishment may lead to avoidance of the situation altogether. For instance, if an employee is constantly criticized by their boss, they may start avoiding interactions with the boss rather than improving their performance. The behavior isn't changed, it's simply hidden or avoided. Reinforcement alternatives. Positive reinforcement is often a more effective tool because it encourages the desired behavior by providing rewards rather than discouraging the wrong behavior through fear or negative consequences. Reinforcement builds a sense of accomplishment and confidence, which leads to longer-lasting behavior change. This section highlights the limitations of punishment and encourages a shift toward using reinforcement as a tool for shaping behavior. Reinforcement builds positive habits, creates a healthier emotional environment, and promotes learning and growth. Number 7. Self-control and personal change. Self-control is a challenge for many people. Whether it's resisting the urge to eat unhealthy foods, sticking to an exercise routine, or managing emotions, self-control can feel like a constant struggle. Behaviorism offers a practical approach to self-control by focusing on changing the environment and consequences that influence behavior. Rather than relying on sheer willpower, people can shape their own behavior by using reinforcement and punishment on themselves. For example, if you're trying to stick to a workout routine, you might reward yourself after each workout with something enjoyable, watching your favorite show, taking a relaxing bath, or enjoying a special treat. These rewards reinforce the behavior of exercising, making it more likely that you'll continue the routine. On the other hand, people can also use negative consequences to discourage unwanted behaviors. For example, if you're trying to cut back on social media use, you might limit yourself to only using it after completing a certain task. By withholding the desired activity until after the task is done, you create a form of negative reinforcement, where the removal of the task reinforces your ability to stay focused. Behaviorism sees self-control not as a battle between the mind and body, but as a system that can be managed by altering the consequences of behavior. By designing an environment where good behavior is rewarded and bad behavior is discouraged, people can take control of their own actions and achieve their personal goals. Number 8. Education and behavior. In education, behaviorism plays a key role in shaping how students learn. Traditional methods of punishment for bad behavior, like detention or failing grades, are common in many schools. However, behaviorism suggests that a more effective approach to education involves focusing on positive reinforcement to encourage learning. When students are rewarded for good behavior or for academic effort, they are more likely to engage in the learning process. Rewards can come in many forms, including praise, recognition, good grades, or privileges. For example, a teacher might praise a student for participating in class, encouraging the student to continue speaking up and asking questions. Positive reinforcement creates a supportive learning environment where students are motivated to do their best. When students feel confident that their efforts will be recognized and rewarded, they are more likely to try harder and persist even when the material is difficult. Behavior modification techniques like token economies, where students earn tokens for good behavior that can be traded for rewards, are practical applications of these ideas. These systems help create a positive, engaging classroom environment where students feel motivated and supported in their learning. By applying reinforcement principles in education, teachers can encourage better behavior, improve student engagement, and foster a love of learning that goes beyond the classroom. Number 9. Society and behavioral control. Social systems, such as governments, workplaces, and community organizations, have a significant impact on behavior. Laws, regulations, and social norms provide external reinforcement that shapes how people behave in society. For example, laws that provide incentives for environmentally friendly behavior, such as tax breaks for using solar power, reinforce behaviors that benefit society as a whole. In contrast, laws that impose fines or jail time for illegal behavior serve as punishment to discourage harmful actions. Workplaces often use similar principles, offering bonuses, promotions, or praise for high performance while using negative consequences like demotions or termination to discourage poor performance. These systems of reinforcement and punishment shape the way employees behave, encouraging productivity and discouraging harmful actions. Communities also use social reinforcement, such as praise, recognition, or inclusion, to encourage participation in community activities. People often act in ways that benefit the group because they are reinforced by social approval or recognition. On the other hand, those who break social norms or behave in harmful ways may be ostracized or criticized, discouraging such behavior. By understanding how social systems shape behavior through reinforcement and punishment, we can design better systems that promote positive actions and discourage harmful ones. Whether it's creating laws that encourage responsible behavior or building workplaces that reward teamwork, these principles help create a more productive, cooperative society. Number 10. Freedom and control. Many people believe that freedom means being able to act without external influence. However, behaviorism suggests that all behavior is influenced by external factors, whether we are aware of them or not. The environment, rewards, and punishments all shape how we behave. Freedom, then, is not the absence of control, but rather the ability to act in a way that leads to positive outcomes. When we live in environments that reinforce good behavior, where people are encouraged to learn, grow, and contribute, we experience greater freedom. This kind of freedom comes from making choices that are guided by positive reinforcement rather than fear or punishment. For example, a person may feel freer in a workplace where they are rewarded for taking initiative and contributing ideas. In contrast, a workplace that relies heavily on punishment or criticism may create a sense of fear and restriction, limiting the individual's ability to act freely. By creating environments that promote positive behavior, we can give people the freedom to make choices that benefit both themselves and others. This view of freedom aligns with the broader goals of behaviorism, which seeks to shape behavior in ways that lead to greater happiness, productivity, and social harmony. Number 11. Behavioral science and social change. The principles of behaviorism can be applied on a societal level to promote positive change. By understanding how behavior is shaped by external factors, we can design better systems that encourage people to act in ways that benefit society. For example, health systems can use behaviorism to encourage healthier lifestyles. By offering incentives for exercise, healthy eating, or preventive care, healthcare providers can reinforce behaviors that lead to better health outcomes. Similarly, businesses can create work environments that reward innovation, teamwork, and productivity, leading to more successful and motivated employees. Governments can also apply behaviorism to design policies that encourage good citizenship, such as recycling programs that reward participation or tax credits for charitable donations. By focusing on reinforcement, governments can create systems that guide people toward behaviors that benefit the entire community. Behaviorism offers a pathway to create positive social change. By applying these principles, we can build systems that support personal growth, improve public health, enhance education, and create more just and equitable societies. Conclusion. In this summary, we explored the key ideas behind how behavior can be understood, predicted, and shaped. The principles of behaviorism give us valuable tools for improving personal habits, creating better learning environments, and building more cooperative social systems. By focusing on the environment, reinforcement, and consequences, we can guide behavior in ways that lead to greater happiness, productivity, and social harmony. Behaviorism offers a practical, scientific approach to improving individual and societal well-being. Whether in education, workplaces, or communities, understanding how behavior works empowers us to make meaningful changes that benefit everyone. Thank you for listening, and if you found this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more summaries and insights. See you in the next video.